Welcome to the Ascent Life podcast. I'm your host, R. Brandon Long, here with the mission to inspire a full 1 million people a day to live their best life. So if you're not subscribed to the show, you can go to YouTube at Ascent Life now. And what I want to do is start off by revisiting this book that is like, it's falling apart. I got paper clips in it and everything. Think and Grow Rich. I talk a lot about this book, and for good reason. It literally explains how to use your thoughts to generate wealth. But there's a catch, and the catch is action and persistent action over time. So the formula for wealth, as Napoleon Hill writes in this book, is right here in this short little paragraph. And he says, wishing will not bring riches, but desiring riches with a state of mind that becomes an obsession, then planning definite ways and means to acquire riches, and backing those plans with persistence that does not recognize failure will bring riches. And then on the very next page, he has 6 ways to turn those desires or your thoughts into gold or money. First, fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. Second, determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money. So that's the value that you are creating, whether it's a product or service. Third, establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire. Fourth, create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, whether you are ready or not. Put the plan into action. Fifth, write out a clear, concise statement of the amount of money you intend to acquire. Name the time limit for its acquisition and state what you intend to give in return for the money, your value proposition, and describe clearly the plan through which you intend to accumulate it. Finally, number 6, read your written statement out loud every day, 3 times a day. And as you read, see and feel yourself and believe yourself in possession of the money. Yeah, man, this guy is a trip. If you read the whole book, he gets into some weird stuff, some sex transmutation at the end, which is, maybe you just buy it for that. I don't know. But Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, good stuff. Love this book. It's like I've made multiple life changes just based on reading this book, and it's kind of why we're here today. So that is that. Our guest today, I want to bring in my friend, photographer, videographer, snowboarder, lover of all good things, T-Sad, Tristan Sadler. How many people call you T? Does anybody call you T-Sad? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know. So many people, they have so many weird nicknames for me. Like growing up, it would be T-Sads, T-Saddles, Sad Face, because my last name's Sadler. So they'd be like, yo, Sad Face.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, Tritty Cent, like 50 Cent. But
that's pushing it.
I know, that's right. But, we had to come up with a rapper names. That's what they gave me.
Okay.
Man, Trisket.
I like Trisket.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Trisket a lot, actually. That's a good one. Yeah.
And, so many other ones. I don't know. I just let people, I don't even care. People just say whatever. And I'm just like, oh, hey, how's it going? What's up?
Yeah. So, Tristan, you make your life as a photographer, videographer, your hobby or something that you love to do, skateboarding and snowboarding.
Mm-hmm.
At what point were you like, I want to be a professional? We were in school together. So full clarification, we were in school together. I was a return student, and you were just a regular student.
Regular guy.
Regular student guy.
Regular guy.
And I was like, and then we had the same class, and we'd have crits. And you put the crits, I'm like, oh man, that Tristan, he's good, man.
You're too nice.
He's good.
Thank you.
So at what point were you like, this is what I want to do? What is it about being behind the lens that just makes your life happy?
Well, to be honest, I think it started really young. I was, and it all started with snowboarding and skateboarding. I was 13 or 12 or something like that, and I just would get all this pro snow like videos that come out, and would watch them, and I just remember saying I want to make those videos with my friends and do the same exact thing, and so was able to save up, get a video camera, and then my parents helped me buy a computer, and we made movies. And the first movie I ever made was on like a VHS tape. Like I had to make it with a VHS.
Yeah.
With all, I don't even know
how do you even do that. I don't even know how to.
I wouldn't even know now. Like I forget, but it was called Electric Shock, and I was like, I felt so cool. I was 13 years old. And I can't remember if it was a snowboard or a skateboard movie, but then I would make them every year throughout high school, and I would make a snowboard film, that would play every spring, and we would have a premiere at my house.
Love that.
Invite all my friends
Yeah.
and everyone from my high school, and have a pizza party, play the video. I would burn them on DVDs and then sell them to people at my school. And then in this fall, we'd have a skate video premiere.
You're early on this freelance game.
Early, dude.
Early.
Making money early.
Yeah.
Slinging DVDs
Yeah.
under the lunch table, dude.
Yeah.
$10 a DVD. And it's funny, there's people today that from my high school that will they'll randomly send me a photo and be like, dude, look what I found. And it's like, and I had like the whole packaging where DVD case, printed out a cover for it, graphic designed it myself. And one was called Crew versus Crew, and I made this whole like thing, and because we had rollerbladers in our town, so it was like skateboarders versus rollerbladers.
Yeah,
and there was
some
like
real Bloods and
we
Crips
had
here.
full on skits where we were like chasing them down, and we'd be like ruining their skate spots and all that stuff. It was funny, and so we did that, and then it was at the end of high school. I knew I wanted to go out west. I honestly didn't know Utah existed. I didn't know that it had a place to
Okay,
snowboard.
where did you grow up that you didn't know Utah existed?
In Pittsburgh, PA area.
Yeah.
Like I grew up in the country, but like an hour outside of Pittsburgh called Somerset, PA. And we like didn't have a skate park growing up, so we just had to we were just a bunch of hooligans.
Schools,
dude.
churches.
Yeah, dude, skating on the street. And anyway, my goal was to do videography. And long story short, I found out Weber State existed. They didn't have a video program, just a photo program through the art. And I remember my one buddy Tony shot a Polaroid at a snowboarding contest we were at, and I just really enjoyed it. And he's like, "Yeah, dude, video's sick, but photos are so rad, like the moment that it can capture."
Mm-hmm.
So that summer, I bought a Nikon DSLR. And started shooting photos, and I fell in love with it, and went to school for photography at Weber State, and never looked back. And I think so. My passion for creating video photos started super young, and I was like, I will never do anything but that. So
yeah, and there you have to have a patience with photography that I don't think I necessarily have. And then because I like nature photography. So all these photos are in here of Yellowstone.
And they're great photos,
which I have taken and put them on.
The one behind you is awesome. I love that photo.
Boy, you got to get lucky to get that one right there. I can probably show this here if you're watching on the YouTube.
Yeah, that's a sick photo.
That's Yellowstone, and you just got to catch the light at the right time for a lot of things.
Yeah,
but when you're doing like action sports, and I was watching the behind the scenes of. I'm going to butcher all of this, but there's stairs at, is it a high school in California?
El Toro.
And the kid took like all these
to. Yeah, there's two people there was a guy from overseas who did it. I can't remember his name. And then there's Chris Jocelyn who just landed a tray flip down El Toro. And it's like insane because he first tried it 7 years ago.
So, yeah. The behind the scenes are you've got all the videographers, but then you've got the photographers, and then you got the athlete that has to. First of all, you got to land the trick, and all the times that you don't land the trick, and it was wild to watch the setup and listen to trying to get trying to get the exact photo that you know what I mean. Like that doesn't look easy.
Yeah, I think with that, I think from my perspective, I believe that the photographers, videographers, when it comes to like action with any sport, it's because they were in that sport. And so they know what to look for. They understand it. Yeah. Like for me with skateboarding and snowboarding, I know what I'm looking for, and I know the feeling of that trick they're trying and where it looks best. And I think that because of that, it kind of becomes more natural to you, where it's like I've always told people, like, you can take an action sports photographer and they can go shoot a wedding, no problem, right? It might not be the best, but it's going to be good enough and it's going to do really well. But you couldn't take a wedding photographer and have them go shoot skateboarding because they wouldn't know what to look for.
Right.
And they wouldn't understand. They would think like a certain frame is like really good on a trick, but it's like, oh no, you don't want to use that frame. That's actually like not a good spot. And it's like you see it in like commercials with like Target or Walmart where whoever's the creative director of that, they have no idea what they're talking about, because they'll show someone like trying to ollie.
But it's skateboarding, dude.
And, they'll show someone trying to ollie who like is falling off their board, and you're like, ooh, that's whoever's running this, they don't know what they're looking for. So I think that the practice of capturing action, it's all within this, like you being involved within that sport to begin with, and understanding what to capture and when to capture that moment, and you kind of just gain an eye for it, right? And then you know how to like the right settings on your camera, and you got to be like at a fast shutter, blah blah blah, all those things, and then you just know what to look for and how to frame it, and also it just takes practice. Like you got to get out there all the time, be in it.
I have a Samsung TV, and before you can go to the app that you want, Netflix, YouTube TV, whatever, it comes on with the Samsung TV channel or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I set that channel to the surfing channel, so that whenever I turn my TV on, it's the surf TV, right?
Yeah.
And there's some really cool shows on there, some beautiful photography.
Sure.
Those are. Have you shot surfing or ever thought about shooting surfing?
See, so that is a good example of what you're saying. I have 2 years ago, I went on this trip to Alaska, and they needed a photographer to like help capture this like trip that we were doing, where we live on a boat and we go surfing and we go backcountry snowboarding.
Yeah. Oh wow.
In the fjords, like Kenai fjords.
Yep.
So they would boat us to like a swell, and I just told him, I was like, dude, I don't surf, like I don't know what I'm doing out there, blah blah blah. And I think for me that was such a learning lesson, where it's like I understand action sports and I understand what we're getting into, but I also don't know what to look for when someone's riding a wave.
Yeah.
Like at what point of that turn, like I think I have a better idea because of snowboarding and skateboarding, but like, you know, like when they're coming back on a certain slash, like at what point in that frame is like
the best point.
What are you going to say as a surfer? Like what would surfers say look the best, right?
Yeah.
And that's even with like skiing. Like I don't ski, so every time I shoot photos of skiers, I always show them the frames, and I'm like, out of all of these frames, which one is the best one of you in the air?
Yeah.
Which one it, like, because they have different grabs than snowboarders. So I'm like, oh, if you're grabbing at this part of the ski, and you know, is this did you get the grab or did you mess up this grab? You know, because for me, I'm like, I don't know if that's proper or if you just like screwed it up. And they're like, no, that one's good. They're like, this one, don't use that. And so it's like, I think it was a learning lesson. But yeah, I did shoot surfing once, and it was just like, it wasn't like professional surfing. It was really good surfers. But I went out with the company Black Coals. It's actually the shirt I'm wearing right now, right here. The greatest media company out of Salt Lake. And then I went out with Sean and Asher, who own that company. They hit me up on a Wednesday, and I was, I wasn't doing anything, and I flew out.
It was Wednesday.
I flew out. They hit me up on a Wednesday morning, and I just had woken up, and they were like, "Do you want to go to Alaska?" And I was like, "Yeah." They were like, "Okay, here's the catch. We're flying out Friday morning." I was like, "So I have what?" And I booked a flight and then flew out and had the best like 8 days of my life.
What is it about like surfing has phenomenal photography?
Yeah, it does. Their surfing photography is underrated, dude. Like a lot of those guys are, I mean, I don't know. Like some of the ones where they're like in the barrel and they're like out there swimming.
Unreal.
I don't know. Those guys are committed.
Yeah.
Fully committed.
I watched this one photographer explaining one of his favorite photos, and it was, and this has to do with any type of photography, and you don't really think about this, but they're consistently shooting into the light. Like, it's a backlit with brightness, you know, for the most part, unless you're shooting on a cloudy day, but it's almost all. And he's like, I love this photo because of the detail in the shadow of the surfer, and I'm shooting into the light. And so he had got all the settings he wanted absolutely correct for that moment, and he's like, that's why I love it, because the action itself was fairly mundane. It was just dude surfing a wave, you know. But that was his favorite. It was cool to watch him as a photographer talk about how that was his favorite photo, because he got all the settings right, you know.
Yeah,
which is hard to do,
especially in a place like that where you're constantly moving.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like you're in the ocean, you're not staying stationary. Where like you shoot skateboarding or snowboarding, you can kind of like set up on a spot for a while. You know what I mean? I mean, of course you can do that in surfing if you're shooting from like the shore, you know, or from like a cliff and you're looking out. But yeah, it's if you're in the water and doing all this stuff, I don't know, swimming around like that with all the camera in your hand, just waiting. I'd be sharks under your feet. Yeah, those guys are awesome. There's a lot of, what is his name? His name's Arto. I think I'm gonna butcher the name, but Arto Sare or whatever his name is. He's a old pro skateboarder who's now a photographer, and he moved to Hawaii and got into surf photography, and he shot this photo that I guess like ended up he loved it and everyone loved it. He made a name for himself there, and then he didn't know it at the time, but it ended up being the cover of like a surf magazine or something. And it's insane. Like his surf photography is really awesome. So
we talked about briefly before the podcast that you enjoy your freedom. What does that mean to you? How does photography help supply like the lifestyle that you enjoy?
Great question. I think, okay, for me, there was, go through college, did the whole degree thing, and then immediately, got a job at Crossroads Academy. And for me, it was just like, it kind of was like all this stuff that just kind of
like a shop /
it's a snowboard shop at rehab center for like young kids, right? Like the shop it is connected, but it's not like, fully, it's owned by the same people, right? But anyway, I worked there weekends, which set me up to work Friday through Sunday. And I think if anyone is wanting to do photography full time, it's like finding that gig where you can get all your hours at a regular job in like 3 days, and then you have 4 days to do whatever you want, and it sets you up to succeed in the sense of you have time to focus on what you want to focus on in photography. You can go out and film and travel, do all that stuff. And then it's also too, when you work a weekend job like that, if you call off those 3 days and take PTO, then you have like 2 weeks off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and you're still getting paid the same. And so getting the job like that really helped. But it helped me in the sense of kind of building my name in photography. And also, I think the stuff that me and my buddies did throughout the snowboarding and the videos we made, like it helped me be able to have freedom to go shoot like that Ride Local First film that we did, and then Dojo and all that stuff, and really dive into it artistically and as a snowboarder. And I think that just having that time to do all of that set me up to, I don't know, kind of get a better reputation for myself in photography. And then just slowly building clientele, and then eventually you get to the point where you build enough clientele where you can go, I can leave this job, and people trust me enough that there's going to be jobs coming in, and it's the scariest thing in the world because you go, I no longer have like a consistent paycheck monthly or like bi-weekly, And when you do that, you realize, I don't know, you kind of realize this moment of like, okay, I'm all in. I'm going to make it happen. And then you get these jobs that come along, and then it allows you to have that freedom to pick and choose to, like, you'll get a high paying job, and then you realize your value and your worth, and then you can pick and choose which jobs come along, what you want to actually focus on, and what you're like, where you're going to be fulfilled the most. Like, obviously, take all the jobs you can in the beginning just to make that money and make that name, and like kind of set yourself up for success. Don't mean like make that money and make all the money you can, but I'm saying like make the money in the sense of like take the job, see if you like it, see if you like shooting this style, learn from it, and save that money, put it away, and then build yourself in that like realm of like, what am I trying to say? Like figuring out what you like, where you're best at, and then you can charge more, and then it gives you that freedom to like kind of do what you want as you build. But it takes a long time to grow that. Like it was 8.5 years that I worked in that rehab program before I felt comfortable to be like, I think I can make it as a photographer.
So you didn't make it overnight?
No, not at all, dude. There's some people that do that, but I think the people who make it overnight actually, they end up walking away sooner than anyone else because they never really had the passion for it. And that's just my own perspective on it. But yeah, there's that whole thing of like the photography and videography. If you can, it's a blessed position. Anyone who gets to do it full time, it's such a blessing because you have freedom to pick the jobs you want. You have freedom to travel. You have freedom to like, I don't know, just like pick up and like today, like I'm just here with you. Like I have freedom to just like come in to the studio, where if you have a normal 9-to-5 job, you're going to be like, dude, sorry, like I can't, like I had to do it at like, 7 tonight or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think that it gives you the freedom to just kind of build your own schedule and do with what you want, but also you have to be very wise in that, right? You know what I mean? You can't become like lazy with it. You have to understand that you're now the boss of your own life, in the sense of like, if you mess up, you have to reprimand yourself.
You got to own it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't just like, it's not like, oh, this is going to fall on someone else's plate. Like if everything falls on you, if you're falling behind. Yeah. I blame my camera for, I blame my camera when it doesn't answer emails. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, dang it. You should have typed back to that person, or you shouldn't have been out of focus. And so I think it's just like this huge learning thing where photography, videography, anything in the creative world, it can set you up for such an amazing life of like freedom. But to get to that point, I would say it is such a grind, or can be, and you have to be so passionate for it. And then those who do come into it overnight and just like have overnight success, not that they're not passionate about it, but I don't think it's long lived, right? Like, because they never, when you don't have to work for something, you kind of get it and you don't value it as much. It's like when your parents buy you a bike when you're a kid, you didn't pay the money for it, so you don't value it as much as your parents do. So you don't treat it as well as you should. If you worked as a young kid, bought it yourself with your own money, like you're going to take care of it better. So when you grind at something that you really love, and then you gain success through that hard work, you appreciate it more and you don't take it for granted. Where if you just get recognition overnight, you might be kind of like, I don't know, like not appreciative of it as much.
Yeah, no, for sure. And not only did you work in the field, but you even have a degree.
Yeah.
So.
And then which, teaches you a lot about multiple aspects of art, right? Like going through that art school is like, you don't just learn about photography, you learn about all the other types of art.
Yeah.
And you learn to communicate with other artists and collaborate with them.
And how to take feedback, by the way, which a lot of people need to learn in life in general.
Oh my God, yeah. Feedback culture today.
Yeah.
You say people don't want to hear feedback, they don't want to be wrong about things. And man, that was the coolest thing about art school, is getting that was one of the coolest things. Like you would throw your art up there and you'd be a little nervous whenever it came time to you to talk about your art, but like you learn to like accept that feedback that people were giving you, and they weren't doing it to belittle you, they were doing it to build you up.
Yes.
And to challenge you and to help you grow. And once you could accept that and understand that even the art teachers they just want the best for you, then you became a better artist. And and don't get me wrong, some of the questions were stupid that they would ask, but I think they were stupid for a reason, Well, and they kind of made you think about random things.
Our professors would ask, like, why did you make this choice? And then you had to answer for why. Like, you can't just go shoot something randomly and bring it to a critique, because now you got to talk about your choices. Like, why did you use this setting? Why did you use the lighting? And you're like, oh, well,
you can't just be like,
I had it on auto and I was in a rush, so I had to.
Right? Like I always say, like, I really do wish it could just be sometimes that you just shoot something and you did it because it looked cool. And I'll always give pushback on that, or pushback with that, where people say, you can't just say it's cool and this is, I'm like, but it can just be that. It can just because you did it and it looked cool.
Yeah.
It's like you get tattoos just because they look cool. Like you don't, nothing has to have a deep meaning all the time. But I remember the one that was so funny, I did an art critique there, or we had a photo critique there on my one photo for my like thesis, or the class right before my thesis class, whatever. And I printed the photo onto plywood. It was like 20 by 30 little piece of plywood, and I like mounted the photo to that. And then one teacher was like, why'd you pick plywood, and why the 7 layers, and why this and that? And I was like, I don't know, I just thought it looked cool. And he literally was so mad at my answer. He was like, it can't just look cool. He's like, there has to be a Tristan, deeper meaning. There has to be so much more.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be like, why, he's like, why the 7 or 5 layers of plywood? I was like, because that's how plywood's made, dude. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But they always want a deeper meaning.
Sometimes it just is what it is.
And I think that in their defense, they're just trying to challenge you as an artist to come up with a better reason why you're creating your art. Something that has a stronger, because of course you can do it because it looks cool, but I think what they were just getting at is that it's not going to stand the test of time, and you need to have like this deeper grounding meaning behind your art if you really want to be an artist and stand out in the art world, where you can talk about whatever issues in this, whatever you're trying to convey, you can actually have a deep conversation about it other than be like, oh, I did it because it's cool. And then it's like the conversation's done, where you can, I don't know, grow not just as an artist, but like emotionally in all those ways. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like you're just able to, while I can't talk about it, you're able to talk about it better.
You really are. You really are. They do make you think about why you're doing what you're doing, and then talk about why. So, let's get into the meat and potatoes here.
I hope I made sense.
Of course. Now that I've got you in a weird mode of talking,
hit me with it.
Let's hit you with some really good stuff. What is your definite major purpose, as Napoleon Hill would say, and/or meaningful mission, as Lewis Howes would say, or life's task / unique ability? Like, what is your purpose? And it changes.
Like my purpose in life?
100%.
Okay, we're gonna get spiritual with it, and we're gonna base it off my faith. Just hitting it straight with that. So, obviously everyone's like definite purpose in life is gonna be so different in what they believe. For me, I believe that in everything that I'm doing, that like my faith should be center of it, and like sharing like my faith in Christ is one thing I want to do with everything I'm doing. And it's like, and I don't expect people to always understand that, or to like, cause like I'm sure there's people out there that sometimes are surprised to find out that I believe that, you know what I mean? And they're like, whoa, like wouldn't have thought that. But it's like, for me,
you didn't lead with that.
No, right? It's like, for me, it's like, that's the most important thing in my life. And if I can share that through just any aspect, whether it's snowboarding or skateboarding or photography or videography, and it's like the video not everything you do in life has to be like saturated around all of that, but it's like, it creates conversation where you build conversations with people through your photography, and then they get to know you, and you know what I mean, and you can share who you are. And for me, I wouldn't be where I am today without my faith in Jesus. So like that's just like my purpose in life, is to share that and to share how he's made my life so much better. And through all my struggles and failures, like in hard times, like that was the one, I could trust in God to get me through it. You know what I mean? I could trust in Jesus to like pull me through like any bad situation. And that faith just made me a better person. And I think that it's, man, like just that free gift that God is offering is like, if I don't share that free gift with people, then like, what am I doing? So like for me, my definite purpose is to share that gift and share that love through the things God made me passionate about. And like, like I think everyone is passionate for things for a reason. And I think that you have a passion to paint, you have a passion to go fly fishing, you have a passion to be out in the woods camping for a reason, right? And I think that if people leaned into more of their passions as a way to like share who they are and grow with like life, they'd be more fulfilled. And I think that for me, God's like created these passions of skateboarding and snowboarding and and being out in nature and shooting photos and videos. And if I don't, it would be like a disservice if I just like ignored those, you know what I mean? And so I'm just like, no, I'm passionate about that. I just want to invest in and share God through it in the process, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so, no, I appreciate you sharing that. And I'm reading a book right now called 10X is Easier Than 2X. And Dan Sullivan, so it's an entrepreneurial type book, and he explains that in order to reach your 10X potential, you've got to get rid of about 80% of what you are currently doing in order to focus on 20% to go to the next level. And you said something there, and now I forgot what I was going to compare it to.
10X, 2X?
No.
2 X's of 10.
What were we talking about right before? Shoot.
Passions.
Passions. So he mentions in there that he gives you permission to want, which I feel like we don't do enough. In other words, you want to go snowboarding.
Yeah.
Go snowboarding.
Totally.
Like if you want to make a living as a photographer, go make a living it's okay to want things.
Totally. And I think that you see it even more today where you look at, the Outdoor Boys on YouTube, right?
Sadly, probably no.
Oh, man. Well, I believe it's the Outdoor Boys. Anyway, it's this dad who just had this insane passion for the outdoors. And he would go make a video of how to survive in different elements. And he grew his YouTube channel to like millions and millions and millions of followers, to the point where that's what he ended up doing full time. And he would take his kids out with him, teach them different things. Like I'm talking, he would go and survive in like cold temps, teach you how to build a snow cave to live in for the night and camp and all that stuff. And it's such a wholesome thing, and he's passionate about it. And so he just started sharing these videos and making these videos, and you can do that. And then he grew this channel where he's authentic, he's real with who he is, and people were so drawn to that because he wasn't trying to be somebody else. Yeah. And then he ended up making his whole income in life out of that. And now he said it was getting to the point, he just actually stopped doing it because he said it was getting to the point where he needed to focus more on his family and his kids, right? Yeah. Because he's getting so popular, I think, that people were just like, he never had freedom or space. He was like,
probably said yes to too many things.
And then probably. And then he was like, but he went out on top and said, I'm done with YouTube. I'm going to focus on my family and focus on raising my kids and focus on like helping them create their own videos that they want to create or whatever, and build them up for success. And so I think it just show you that when you're passionate about something, dive into that passion because you have it for a reason, and you can now more than ever, you can make a living off of the things that you love.
Dude, I'm trying. This is my thing. And so, your unique ability is how Dan Sullivan says it in 10X is easier than 2X, is finding that unique ability and then leaning into that, which is what the Outdoor Dad did and YouTube channel. You found this is what he loves. And so what I'm passionate about, people living their best life. Like what you should try to live your best life.
Yeah.
Why not? And so the idea here is to get as many people as possible. I threw out, if I can touch 1 million people a day. So
amen, dude.
Through my socials and newsletter, which yesterday's newsletter that went out, which I'll have you subscribe, talked about your unique ability. But if I can get 1 million people a day to just see what we put out, which is positive information about how to live your best life, dude, I'm like, dude, that's it.
And that's a great goal to set. And I think that you set those goals and you just keep going, and you never give up on them. And I think that that's the other thing too is, we're going to go back to what you were saying. Why not try to live your best life? Because my dad always said this to me, and it was so rad. When I moved out here, his little boy's leaving, he's going to miss him.
Yeah.
And he told me once, he's like, I didn't want you to go, but I never wanted you to ask what if. And so it's like, if you don't go, you're always going to ask yourself, what if? And if you don't try, you're always going to look back at your life and be like, man, what if I would have just tried? Or what if I would have trusted my instinct and just taken a leap of faith? And I think that, of course, it's scary. Nothing is not scary, especially when you have a healthy income and you're like, oh, I'm going to really go do this. But if you put money aside, save properly, and you build up to that, and then you work, as hard as you can for the hours that you can outside of your job, and then you finally get to this time where you can go and fully chase it. It's like, you might as well do it, because you're only getting older. You're not getting younger.
Might as well do it.
You might as well do it. You know what I mean? So it's
might as well do it.
And with that too, it's like, do you want to live the rest of your life when you're 70 years old, wishing you would have done more,
right,
or wishing you would have chased your passions? And you always hear that when people are older, they always go, I wish I would have worked less. I wish I would have like spent time doing the things I love. I wish I would have spent time with the family I loved. And I think when they say work less, I think it's because they're talking about the corporate world where they're working 9 to 5s all day long. They never have time for their families. They're working not even just 9 to 5. They're working, till late in the evening. They're never around. And when I think when you can do something that you actually love to do, you're busy as hell, but you have more time to be with your family and your friends.
Well, and everyone's different. And like
For
my
sure.
grandpa growing up, because he retired working on Hill Air Force Base, right? And he said, go get a job on the base. You'll have good money, good benefits, and like you'll have the best life ever, essentially. And I remember him telling me that, and I was a young teen, like 13, 14, 15, somewhere around there. And I remember thinking like, that sounds terrible. Like
Sounds miserable, doesn't it?
Sounds to me,
I think it sounds miserable.
yeah. And so, and I thought, yeah, but some people want, like they have to,
Some
like
people
that.
want that, yeah.
Yes. And that's what makes them happy is like, no, dude, I get every holiday off. I work these days. I know what I'm doing, and so you got to do you, but that never appealed to me. Even coming from a family member, I was like, thanks grandpa, but I don't think I can do that.
I think that I hear that for sure. There are people who want that, right? And who they feel comfortable in that. But I think that, I don't know if it's just something that we were taught growing up, you know what I mean? Where you work your ass off until you're red in the face and then you go home and that's the American dream, It's like, I think that a lot of people from that generation, like they were taught that because that's all they had.
Yeah.
And that's what they had to like rely on. And now, like I said, more than we've ever had, you have so many options to make money in so many different fields of life where it's like, you don't have to have that crazy 9 to 5 job. Like you can, like I was telling you now, it's like, my goal is to like pick up random jobs where I work 2 to 3 days a week and make a little bit and just like do my photography. Like I'm not like, also it's like when you're doing your own stuff, like don't be afraid to go work at that coffee shop. You know what I mean? Like it's not a setback. Like if you are having a slow month or a couple of slow months, like go find a job somewhere where you can do something fun for a couple of days and be like, hey, I want to work part-time, and then just like see if you can get something set up where you can make some money. And it's like, for me, it's like working at a snowboard shop would be so much fun.
Yeah.
I get to work with my friends and I get to work maybe 2-3 days and then go shoot photography and still focus on that, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that doing that gives you stuff to do, and there's just so many options out there.
Yeah.
I mean, people making money off like TikTok shop now. They're just on TikTok all day long selling random things.
Also does not appeal to me.
No, it doesn't. That actually seems so, I think it probably doesn't appeal to you because it seems it's unfulfilling. It doesn't have any deep meaning.
You nailed it. So in other words, if you're on social media for 10 minutes, you will see somebody, at least in my feeds, pitch that they are making money somehow. The TikTok shop, the Amazon affiliate, the drop shipping, like just making money coaching. Somehow, somewhere it pops up and it's like, and you see it, I'm like, I want to make that much money.
Right.
Like that's cool.
You made $2,000
in 10 minutes or you make 10 grand a month and you worked 2 days, whatever the claim is. I'm like, cool, that's appealing. And then I have this thing that I cannot do it unless there is but why. It answers
your why.
My why. And so my why now is to help 1 million people live their best life a day. And if it doesn't do that, I'm like, well, that's not what I want to do.
True.
So it's not fulfilling then.
I think that you just talking about that, it's like what can you do that's fulfilling and you're going to be like, even you're going to be satisfied with down the road. Mm-hmm. Like I even think about that just when I do Instagram reels, like every now and again, I'll look for the trending songs, right? But I'm not going to edit to a trending song just because it's trending. I have to like that song because I want to still look back at the videos I made and be stoked that I made that video to that song and be proud of what you're doing. So I think you have to, and then also giving something of value. There's the best creators out there, the best YouTubers out there are the ones who are offering something that you can give. Like they're offering a free gift to their viewer where they can learn and grow. And whether it's learning how to edit a certain way learning how to use a camera, or film a certain style of video, or just even, whatever it could be. Like, there's money coaches out there, there's, doctor coaches, whatever. You're giving health advice, you're doing these things, and like you're adding value to someone else's life. And I think those are always the best for those situations. Like, that's where you're going to leave fulfilled as a creator, because you know that you're giving back. You're not just taking. And when you're giving back, you know that you're providing something that someone else needed that day. And I think that that's the best gift. Instead of taking away from someone, like, you're giving to them.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, next hard question.
Okay.
But you kind of answered this, so it might be a similar answer. But how would you define a successful life or living your best life?
Yeah. I think because we probably did touch on this as I ramble. How would I read that one more time? How would I define a successful life?
In fact, I'll read the way I wrote it because I just sort of made it up.
Yeah.
But how would you define success or living your best life?
Success to me is walking. I don't know. I think walking away satisfied with every day where you're at in life. It's not about money. It's not about the big house. It's not about any of that stuff. I think just success is like having a good relationship with my wife, having a good relationship with my friends, having a good relationship with my family, having being able to create the things you love, whether you get paid for it or not. I think that that's all ways of success, and those things are the things you do for the love of it. You're always gonna look back and appreciate more. You know what I mean? The time you put that energy in, that you put into that. So I think for me, living a successful life too is like, one, like following where God's telling me to go and trusting that, and not being afraid to just be me. And that's scary. Sometimes it's like, I don't know, I get in my head and I'll be like, man, I don't know if people like me. I don't know if like people like the person I am. And I think about that all the time. Mm-hmm. And I get judgmental on myself. And I think for me, being successful is letting go of those things and just being my true self as best I can every single day, whether or not I'm having that internal battle of being like, whatever. So successful living is, to me, definitely not having the biggest house or having the most money. It's having those relationships with the ones you love, sealed, locked in, and cherished, and doing those amazing things with those people, and doing and living out your passions and enjoying life to the fullest.
Love that. Do you have a fear? Like, what's your biggest fear?
Yeah, I have a fear. I don't know. I have a lot. I think we all have fears.
Yes.
So I guess I have fears of, if we want to do the basic thing, like I hate open water and my feet dangling where I can't see the bottom. So that's a fear.
That's fear.
But
yeah.
fears.
So the surf and photography thing's a little rough.
I don't like it. It wouldn't be fun. I'd be out there thinking something's going to come and grab me. If I can touch the bottom of the water, it feels way better.
Yeah.
And, but if I can't touch the bottom of the water, I feel
my 10-year-old,
especially if I can't see or touch the bottom, I'm like, dude, something's coming up to get me.
We go to Florida every year, Pensacola, and my 10-year-old, who was like knee deep in water at the ocean, but was like rolling around, and it was evening time, and got stung by jellyfish.
Oh,
come running out of that ocean so fast, and was like scared to death.
Never getting back in the water again. She unlocked a new fear.
Oh yeah,
that's crazy.
And that's not even and that's literally like knee deep water.
Yeah, jellyfish are horrible, dude. Jellyfish are the worst, man. They can.
But grandma there had some jellyfish spray. You hit it with the jellyfish spray. All good, man.
I didn't know they made jellyfish spray.
They do. I didn't know either.
That's
until
crazy.
I saw it. Yeah,
dude, wild. But if we want to go back into the fear thing, fear.
Yes.
I think we're always, at least for me, I'll speak from my perspective. Definitely have a fear of, not meeting my own expectations, for myself that I put on myself.
That's huge. I love that. Yeah.
You know, like I think sometimes I put too much on my shoulders, and then when I don't meet that, like there's a fear in there's a fear in failing, but also the fear of not trying outweighs the fear of failure.
Mm-hmm.
So I would much rather try and fail than I would sit back and live with like the fear of like failing, you know what I mean? Or fear of not trying.
Yeah.
And then I think too, just like, man, just like, you know, there's a fear of what people think of me, you know? Because I think that more than most would think I think of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I think I'm just an oddball, and I'm like, man, I walk away from conversations and go, fuck, dude, like, does that person like me? You know?
What's he thinking?
So, and I don't know. Sometimes I black out in conversations and I walk away and I don't even remember what I said, and I'm like, I'm such an idiot. But I have that fear of like, I don't know if it's the fear of not being liked, but definitely the fear of how people see me and how people view me as a person.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because I've had people tell me who like I become friends with down the road, like they'll remember seeing me or meeting me and they tell me their first impressions of me. I'm like, oh, that's funny. Like that
good,
I never
bad, or?
Some are just odd. Like, you know, like you see me in the summertime, I'm covered in tattoos, and one year I had a beard the whole way down to my chest, and people were like, that guy's lived a life, like he's gnarly. And I'm like, you know, from afar, that's what they think. And then they talk to me and they're like, it's so funny because like first impression, thought you were this like gnarly dude, lived a crazy life, and then I talked to you and you're like the nicest, jolliest, like funniest, weirdest, like kooky kid. And I was like, yeah, definitely don't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
So I think that, for me, fear, you can have fears of multiple things, but fear of not trying and fear of letting my own expectations. It's just like not meeting my expectations.
Sure.
You know, I have a lot of like things in the bank right now on my hard drives that I want to like get done and share, but like I don't know, there's this weird like thing holding me back.
Like literally or metaphoric, like
literally.
Yeah,
like things that I'm just like, oh, I don't know. And that's the appearance of what people think of me. It's like I don't know. What if I do this? Are people gonna like me? Like I judge. Like it just you're
okay. Let's take it. Let's take it to the end. How does Tristan Sadler want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for my faith in God, my faith in Jesus. Like straight up. Like at the end of the day, I hope that I'm remembered for that in everything I do. If I were to die today, I hope that people would remember me for being like someone who was authentic in who they were in Jesus.
Yeah.
And I know that might sound crazy, but that's just, for me, that's just like, man, like if for anyone who knows me really well, they know how much that is important to my life. And I would much, I don't, and then on that, like if other things just, I don't know. I don't I don't know if it doesn't mean anything to me at that point because I'm dead, you know? Like, what am I going to be remembered for? Like, my photography? It's like, that's cool. Like, but at the end of the day, it's like, that stuff's great. And I think I don't want to be remembered for anything that I did if I wasn't giving back to someone else's life. Like, I don't want to be remembered for things I did for myself. I want to be remembered for things I did. Like, I want people to remember me for like, I know that might also even sound selfish saying that, but I'd much rather have people remember me for not who I am, but like the relationships I had with them, the friendships I had with them, the times we got to spend, like those intimate moments where you get to hang out and have like real conversations with the closest people. You know, I want to be remembered for those moments.
Yeah.
So not these like, I don't want to be remembered for like my photography when I like all my art, all that stuff. When I die, it can die with me. If that makes sense. Sad day.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you know, I know it might sound crazy, but it's like, what does it do for the person if I'm remembered for any like of that? You know what I mean? It may do more than I think, but at the same time, like, yeah. So faith in my relationships with people and just how our, you know, friendship was. Like, I don't know, I think about friends that I have had that have like passed away, and what I remember them for, and it's like I remember them for being their authentic self. I don't remember them for being like the most badass snowboarder. I don't remember them for being like the most badass photographer. I remember them for being this just real person that I could have a conversation with and have coffee with, and someone that I could sit with and laugh with. I don't remember them for all their accolades or anything like that. So I think that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. Well, that would be nice, because art does live on past.
True.
So.
True. It does. And I think that it can, right? Like it definitely can. I think that your art, I don't know, like if you're remembered for your art, that's awesome. But I also don't think that's like the pinnacle of it. You know what I mean? I think it's cool, but it's like even all the other artists who have passed away throughout life and they're remembered for their art, like it's great. That's awesome. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's just another tangible thing that's going to get destroyed eventually.
I'm sure there's some asshole artists out there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. and I hope that like, those guys, whatever, all those old painters and all those guys, I hope that I hope they're remembered for the time they had just dorking around
with their
in
friends and loved ones.
Yeah, because like think about it, they probably were a bunch of dorks just painting in their studios. You know what I mean? And they probably had a great time. And when they passed
Not
away,
all of them, but some of them.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Who knows?
Anyway,
right,
sorry, I don't know if I went too deep.
Let's bring it back to the surface. Have some fun with it here before we let you go. First of all, Tristan, love you, man. Love having you on the podcast, and with me here.
I love you too.
Learning how to have.
You're a good guy.
How to live our best lives, how to Ascent life.
For sure.
But what's your favorite snowboard? It's maybe ever.
Favorite snowboard?
What are you riding now?
Oh man, that's a really hard question.
Yeah. I have a harder one next.
Okay. Favorite snowboard of all time?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. All right.
Yeah,
There's
I didn't know it was gonna be that hard.
Dude, so many flash through my brain just right now. I think okay, I'm going to give you two. Growing up, when I was in my early 20s, the Simone Chamberlain Stepchild Pro Model board, favorite snowboard of all time.
Bam.
And then today, probably the K2 Passport.
Shout out to K2 for coming back with vengeance, man. That was, I think, my...
K2 is crushing
was it my
dude.
first board? I want to say it was my first board. I had a Morrow.
Dude, that's
a long
sick.
time ago.
Yeah.
But I think I had the K2 first, and this was the legit 90s K2 where it is like 89, 90, maybe 1990 K2.
Crazy.
Where it had the fluorescent paint scheme going. Like
I think I know what you're talking about.
Paint scheme and the heavy as shit. Like that was a really heavy.
Can you imagine riding those today?
I want to try.
You're riding a Cadillac down the hill.
Oh, you are. Now I have kept every skateboard deck, which isn't very many, but I kept every single one I have owned.
No way.
I've got every
dude. That's
girlfriend, wife mom even tries to get me, to get rid of them. But I have
don't get rid of those.
A lot, even one I made in wood shop.
No
in
way,
high school.
dude. That is so sick.
But I didn't keep all the snowboards because they're just bigger. And
see, I'm opposite. You go into my garage right now. There's like hundreds of snowboards. And they're from like when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like I have a snowboard from when I went to Camp of Champions, which was a snowboard camp up in Canada when I was 16, and I bought it from my coach, and I still have that snowboard.
That's rad.
And there's a grizzly bear on it.
Yeah.
And it's an Option snowboard. If I were actually go way back in time, Option, I like their snowboards above everybody else. But K2 right now is crushing it.
Hell yeah.
They're making some of the best boards I've ever ridden.
Oh, that's such good news.
Yeah.
All right. This might be harder. Famous band.
Famous band?
Favorite, sorry.
Oh, favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite band of all time.
Yeah.
Under Oath, hands down.
Oh, that was easy.
Yeah, no. And then if we were to go, we can go off a genre. Like that's like metal, right? Under Oath is my favorite.
Okay.
I got my top for that. We go Under Oath, then we go Showbread, then we go Chasing Victory. And you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Like I have an Under Oath tattoo and a Showbread tattoo, so I gotta love them.
Does that get you free tickets?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Especially because Showbread's not a band anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like Norma Jean, and I like. I mean, dude, there's so many good hardcore like bands from that era, and then right now if we go country, it's probably Charlie Crockett and Coulter Wall. Charlie Crockett's probably, if we were to just like put it on a bucket of what I would listen to for the rest of my life, every Charlie Crockett album. I could listen to him. I could be on an island with every Charlie Crockett album for the rest of my life, and I'd be fine.
That's a better way to pose the question. If you were stuck on an island, but you can only listen to one musical artist, who would it be?
Yeah,
that's a pretty good.
That's a great question. I just gave you a new question.
No,
but yeah, Charlie is
that.
Dude. He's we saw him this year, and I think it's like my 4th time seeing him live, and dude, it's just every time it's like such a good performance, such a good show, and talk about like an artist. Like that guy knows how to write music, and lyrically he is just talented, man. Like the way he sings and the way what he sings about, it's so awesome. So
I appreciate that. Actually, an English major, and one of the things, like, I just love music, and so I can just listen to music. A lot of times people are like, yeah, but the lyrics, and I was like, I didn't even know they said that, like, you know, on a lot of songs. But then there are some songs where I like the song because of the lyrics. Like, the lyrics are just banger. I'm like, oh my god,
I think,
have you heard these lyrics? You know,
for me, right, like I would actually argue that that's probably why I like the bands I like the most. And Under Oath, old Under Oath, lyrical geniuses. All their new stuff, I'm like, what the heck happened, guys? I was like, these lyrics are garbage. And I think for me, that's why it doesn't hit.
So sad.
Like a lot of their, like, I will still say they're my favorite band, but if, you know, like, goes back to that whole thing of feedback where it's like, if I were to meet them, I'd be like, dude, like, when you guys were younger,
can I critique your music?
I was like, well, when you guys were younger, you were writing stuff. At least I could only speak from my perspective, where it's like, man, they were writing stuff that was like so heavy hitting with the lyrics, and it was just like really was just the music with the lyrics were so well put together. And then their new stuff, it's kind of, it seems more just like I'm still a metal band, but I'm kind of like generic dad rock lyrics. And it's kind of a bummer.
That's so sad, dude.
Yeah.
They grew out of it. They aged out of it.
Oh, they're in their 40s and they're on stage screaming still. So I think that's maybe a part of it.
You just got to switch. You got to be, well, that's a whole nother discussion. Tristan, man, thanks for hanging out with me, dude.
Hey, yeah.
Appreciate it.
We had to talk about a lot of random things. Just so everyone knows.
Yeah.
I was supposed to meet Brandon here at 10, and I fell asleep on my couch and woke up at 9:56.
I got a message from you. Yeah, it was like, are we meeting today at like 9:59?
Yeah, probably 9:58 or something.
Well, yep.
Yeah, we're meeting today at 10. I'm like, okay, running late. So I stayed up way too late last night watching some random YouTube stuff, and then I fell asleep, and then woke up, and my wife was like already out the house and said goodbye, and it's like, it's raining out and all this stuff, and gave me a kiss goodbye, and then I just fell right back asleep.
Yeah.
And then I showed up here.
Yeah. I like the fact that you started your day by coming here and hanging out with me.
It's a great day.
It's a good day. It's a good day. And it's early yet. So thanks. And thank you to everyone for hanging out with us here on Ascent Life, and appreciate it. So if you made it this far in the program, please subscribe to the YouTube at Ascent Life now for your daily dose of visual inspiration. You can join me on Instagram at Ascent Life. I got that handle, by the way, which is pretty cool.
Heck yeah.
And please subscribe to the weekly Ascent Life newsletter, and I'll put the link in the show notes down below. So thanks for joining me on this journey as we push for self-actualization through resilience, adaptability, creating a positive impact in the world, and using our unique ability, as we talked about earlier, to fulfill our purpose, our life's task, and become the best version of ourselves. So we'll continue our path together on the next Ascent Life. Cheers and Godspeed. Yay.
Heck yeah.